The All About Nothing podcast may have language and content
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Nothingers, to the All About Nothing podcast. This is episode number 247. I am Bear Gruber, and if you are the proud owner of any model of a Tesla and your vehicle has been violated by anyone vandalizing your vehicle in response to Elon Musk, Donald Trump, or the Department of Government Efficiency, I offer you thoughts and prayers. As well, suck it up. You're supporting and displaying your support for a fascist, a Nazi, and a tool. You decide which is which.
Well, time out, Barrett. Time out, Barrett. Those Teslas are mighty affordable right now.
That is not how I thought we were going to start this podcast.
Want to welcome to the show my co-hosts Zach King and Bill Fry, as well as Donald Brock Jr., the council member from the town of Blythewood, as well as coordinator of the recent Coastal Comic Con in Wilmington, North Carolina, the upcoming 10th Soda City Comic Con in Columbia, South Carolina, and the upcoming first Boardwalk Comic Con in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Welcome, guys.
10 years of Soda City.
It will be. Yeah, but we did have a pause when the world decided to try to end itself.
That's right.
But other than that, it will be our 10th event. And I just spoke to Steve about 5 or so minutes ago before we jumped on, and he gave the thumbs up to give you guys a big scoop about who is coming to Columbia.
Well, let's open it up. Let's go.
No, we gotta wait.
We have to build towards it. Okay.
Yes.
Well, then first of all, let me throw this. Let me throw this out there. Want everybody to check out ZJZ Designs, whether you're looking for the perfect graphic tee to show off your style or something unique to wear on any occasion. ZJZ Designs has you covered. Free from bold designs to creative prints, they offer a range of apparel that is going to make a statement. And if you love standing out in the crowd, check out their collection today, zjzdesigns.com. Trust us, so you won't want to miss what they have in store. ZJZ Designs, where fashion meets fun, no matter the season. Also, Everplay Sports and Social is signing up this week for the Masters of Putt-Putt, which will be March 29th. You can sign up through March 28th and do that over at everplaysocial.com. All right, there we go. Welcome to the show.
So, question. Zach, is your shirt a ZJZ design shirt?
No, it's just a shirt.
Well, you were advertising like, hey, he was reading this thing and you were like,
it's this good. It's this good. Okay. It's this good. If not better.
ZJZ Designs. Just go check them out. It's
now you've piqued my curiosity.
That's what I want. It's my 83-year-old mother's side business to try and make money in case Social Security comes to an end. That's it.
Well, now we know why there was a cheap plug.
That's cheap plug. That's a free plug.
That's the best kind.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
I got a plug. I'll call him right now. What are you doing?
So we're going to do things a little differently this week. Bill Fry, of course, is a graduate from the University of South Carolina, where he has graduated with a degree in broadcast journalism. Bill,
did you get the ring, Bill? Did you get the ring?
I do have the ring.
Bill?
There it is.
Oh, okay.
You can see it. There you go.
Bill is going to interview us about Coastal Comic Con. Zach and I, from the perspective of being participants and, let's just be honest, the talent. And Brock, the coordinator. Brock, did anybody report to you just how offended they were by the fact that Zach and I referred to us as the talent at the Comic Con? Anybody say anything?
No. So apparently you did a very excellent job in not upsetting or pissing anyone off.
You know what?
I can think of one individual that next time he's going to get it.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. That Chick-fil-A cow was almost professional. So
yeah, if he didn't pray about it, Barrett would have offended him.
I'll just start when we went to the pre-party event over at the brewery. At one point, there was nobody around, and I know that mascots can't talk. I know that mascots are supposed to keep quiet. They're not supposed to say anything. I walked over to the Chick-fil-A cow with Elizabeth Sawyer and the rest of the Chick-fil-A crew. I walked over to the Chick-fil-A cow and I said, "Hey, there's nobody around. You can go ahead and talk to me." He giggled. I heard him audibly. I heard him giggle, and I immediately jumped on it. I said, "I heard the cow."
You cracked the 19-year-old.
Whatever. But for the rest of the evening that we were there, I was just nagging him. I was trying to get him to talk. And then I was trying to talk her, Elizabeth, the Chick-fil-A coordinator. I was trying to talk her into allowing me to put on the costume, but to be the talking Chick-fil-A cow. So like when people would come up and take pictures of me, I'd be like, "Yeah, kid, you smell. What is up?"
I was really waiting for her to be like, "You understand that he's being punished, right?" He's
you remind me of,
and this is the punishment.
You remind me of those people that mess with like the guards in the UK, like just messing with them the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Zach
get bit by the horse.
Zach and me were audience to how I cope with crowds, in that I will make observational jokes about virtually everything. I mean, like at several times during the weekend.
To a fault. To our waitress.
Yeah. Almost everybody we interacted with, either Zach or me, had to tell them, please just ignore him. Just ignore him. I
never said that.
Okay. Ami constantly was telling people to
I laughed and said, Barry, keep going.
So it was probably better that we didn't get to have dinner with Ross and Matthew Watterson, because that probably would have not gone well for me. So, Bill, what questions, having not attended the Coastal Comic Con, what questions do you have for us?
Well, first I want to know, what was the crowd like? Was this the first one at Wilmington? This was the first one, right?
I'll let Brock take it.
Second,
number 2.
There you go. Second time. How's the crowd compared to the Soda City one?
The crowd for this event is smaller. Wilmington's a smaller market than Columbia, and it's not fair to compare the most recent Coastal with the most recent Soda City, because we have 7+ year head start. But I will say that when we compared year one of Coastal with a comparable year in Columbia, that it was like year 4 or so before we kind of hit that number. We had a slight contraction, I would say, in overall attendance this year. Trying to figure out why. I will say that Wilmington has been blessed, if you want to call it that, with some extreme winter weather this year. They've had at least 2 good snowfalls, one kind of followed by a significant amount of ice. And so the Saturday when we kicked off, I mean, the weather that day, and I don't know if you boys just stepped outside at all. I mean, it was just flat out gorgeous that day.
Yeah,
it really was. And so I suspect cabin fever at some point had kicked in to that community, and they just decided, you know what, we're going to go outside and we're going to do beachy things or outdoorsy things, parks, walk downtown. Don't mistake that as saying that the crowd wasn't there, because we had over 5,000 people that we know that unique people that showed up, and the turnstile number was like 6,800. So from a foot perspective, the crowd showed up. But in talking to some other vendors, they said that they've been noticing that crowds have gotten a little bit smaller to start out, and they started noticing this sometime around August of September, maybe, of last year. And so I suspect a lot of it has to do with the political climate and leading up to the elections, where people didn't know what the hell was going to happen. And then we got what did happen. And then, which was kind of, I guess, okay until mid-January. And then, depending on your perspective, either all hell broke loose or you got what you paid for. I don't know which.
Yeah.
But so, people have all sorts of reasons. It's certainly the word was out there. We advertise. We're on Facebook. We're on digital. We do streaming ads. We do YouTube. We do traditional linear television. We got the word out there. It just had a slight little pullback, but it's okay. It took us nine tries in Columbia before we finally broke that 10,000 person ceiling, and Wilmington, it can get there. It just it's just going to take some time. We're okay.
Yeah.
People ask me like, how'd the show go? The word I've been using is decent. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It was decent. Above average.
I can speak to at least some of the visual materials that I saw, because when we first arrived and came and set up and hung out with you for a little while on Friday, we went out and got lunch, and 3 of the spots that we went and looked at, as we were going along, we saw the Coastal Carolina, the Coastal Comic Con posters in the windows. We saw them in several places. So someone did their due diligence in trying to get that information out there. We saw it everywhere. In fact, there were people in our hotel that were either there as vendors or they were in town for the con, because I talked to them when I was sitting down there at eating, a muffin or whatever. So that isn't a euphemism or a metaphor. Sorry. Moving on.
Yeah. No. Well, with the crowd, I'm wondering. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, my experience with the amount of people that were there, I thought it was almost perfect to let us escape a little bit and go. For one, this is the first time I've truly gotten to get with vendors and buy some stuff and talk to vendors and get some of their stories, as well as it was also good to get away and talk to the guests that were there for a minute, whether interview or not. Getting to talk with Ross and Matthew Watterson, and anyone else who was there, that was really good. I thought it was an awesome, steady pace of people, and they did awesome cosplays. I think that with the mass of it, you kind of get lost sometimes at Soda City just because they're all coming at you. With this one, I got to appreciate every one that kind of came by, and I was like, yeah, that's sick. It was. I thought it was perfect, honestly.
Zach, there's not necessarily anything wrong with a small to medium sized show. I've been to New York Comic Con a couple of times. I've been to MegaCon. I've been to shows in Chicago and New Orleans, when Wizard was kind of at their peak, and shows that attract 100,000 plus unique visitors. I've been, and some of the worst experiences have been when it's so packed that you literally cannot move. Like, there was one time I was down in Orlando and it was just me, and the lines moving through the aisles. And, when you have 100,000 plus people over the course of 2 or 3 days, or maybe 4, I don't know how long MegaCon is now, but there's obviously not much room. Like, I'm literally standing in an aisle and people are just not moving. And I'm like, this is a miserable experience. And for the last 2 or 3 hours before I took a cab to the airport to catch my flight back home, I literally went and sat behind a table in a friend of mine's booth. It's Chris Foss, but not that particularly matters as much. But it was just, I'm just like, this is not what I signed up for. And if I had paid to go, which I didn't, I would have been pissed, because that's like, I don't want to pay. I mean, if you go to Disney and you pay, you're going to stand in line for a little while before you ride rides. That's expected. That's not what I expect at a major event. And it was just awful. And I'm like, this is not what we want. So the fact that it was steady. I'll give you that. It was steady on Saturday. For
sure.
And Sundays are really good in Wilmington. Sundays are really steady and strong days. Sometimes we get a little off in Columbia on Sundays. I don't know why yet, but it's what it is. But you're right. There is something to be said for actually having a little bit of flexibility and a little bit of time where you can go and see the rest of the event versus being stuck behind your table, doing God's work, working for me.
We had a cosplayer who kind of just posted up across from us for both days, and I told Barrett, I said, if you knew who they were, like if we told you who they were, would you know who they are? And Barrett's like,
no
I don't
clue.
think so. We found out who it was. It was someone cosplayed as In. It was a fantastic cosplay. This person was getting just as much selfies and interactions as anyone else.
The letter N?
Yeah, it's somebody called In.
From what show?
I don't remember. I don't remember, but their cosplay costume was fantastic. Yeah. I mean, it had wings
that would go up, and like everyone who came in that was anime something stopped and was like, holy shit at this person. Like, can I get a picture?
Yeah. The whole time. And like, I would have been,
it drove us nuts. We were like, who is this?
At one point I actually considered asking if they wanting to ask if they would come over and stand at our table, and we'll just charge $1 per selfie. She can get a cut. She can get 50 cents. We'll get 50 cents, whatever. Because
I tried to pitch Ross Marquand sitting at our booth for like 30 minutes.
He didn't take the deal, huh? He was probably pretty comfortable behind his table.
At the end of the day, he probably would. It's slow. Let's go sit at your booth.
And see, that too. Like, what kind of actors showed up this time around? Like, that came out to Wilmington.
Well, Ross Marquand, who of course was is Aaron from The Walking Dead. He is Red Skull from the Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. We also had Cal Dodd, of course, is the voice of Wolverine for decades. He's been the voice of Wolverine. Matthew Wood, of course, he is sound engineer as well as voice artist for a number of the characters in the Star Wars franchise.
He's the Doomslayer.
Yeah, he's Doomslayer
of many.
And Sam Witwer,
I beat Avowed last night, and I watched the credits go by, and I was like, there he is.
Did it say
Matthew Watterson?
Did it say what Matthew Watterson was in the game?
None of them, even the main characters, none of them had the attributed character.
Matthew Watterson, of course, he was back as he is the voice of Magneto, and I know that X-Men 97 season 2 is going to be coming out at some point between now and Christmas, I think. They haven't actually announced a date, but they said it would be this year. But Matthew Watterson was fantastic. Caitlin Robruck was absolute sweetheart. I got to speak with her for a couple minutes, but
she did a video for my daughter.
Yeah,
as Minnie Mouse,
very
congratulating her for being a big sister to twins,
and
threw in a signed picture.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, I blew my daughter's mind. The smile is still on her face right now.
Yeah, and Sergeant Slaughter, who. We had a debate about Sergeant Slaughter because we didn't get a chance to talk to him. We tried on several occasions, but his handler was just as difficult as Sam Witwer's,
nicer.
Yeah, he was much nicer. He was so much more friendly.
Never kind of difficult, much nicer.
But Sergeant Slaughter, having never seen him in person, we had a debate as to whether or not his chin was real. As to whether or not maybe there was some plastic surgery at some point to make it
scratch his nose with that chin.
Pronounced. Yeah, it stands out. But turns out, at least according to artificial intelligence and every potential web search we did, his chin is 100% real.
Barrett was convinced that his chin wasn't real. I said, well, he's like 80 and his chin was already big. Just gonna kind of go with it all.
Before we started recording, I told Bill, I was like, he must just walk around like this all the time.
Yeah, you'd have to train it.
I know that's good for audio, but I feel like he had his chin out. He sleeps with his chin out. But
you want to talk to him, you have to break it. Goes back.
At one point, I saw him interacting with a kid that was very excited to see him. The kid, I don't remember what the maneuver was.
Where are you?
He couldn't see the kid past his chin. That's what you're suggesting, Zach. Go ahead.
The mistake that you amateurs made.
Here we go.
Was that? Well, I'm gonna tell you. That way, you don't make the same mistake twice.
Please do.
Well, the first mistake you made was deleting all your previous footage, and the second mistake you made, I'm never gonna let you live that down because, of course, I wake up at 5:30 and I do what all good Americans do. I look on Facebook and I see this clown who's in the top frame of my phone talking about how all the content that he had backed up on his server was gone. And then, of course, what I do, I send you a text.
I was just as pissed. I
sent him a text and I said, what the fuck did you do? And he's just like, oh, great. Now Brock's texting me. It's like, what is it, like 5:30 in the morning or something like that? Or was it in the afternoon? I don't remember.
No, it was a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday 10 a.m. show. Because Zach
was there. Well, anyways, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I want to use this content too, and you deleted it all?
You saw how silent I was. I just shook my head like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
My God.
We had Michael Bell.
Your other mistake was if you wanted to get interviewed with these people, just come and ask me, and I'll go and make it happen. Because a lot of times, and people don't know this, they have contractual...
Don't even throw that out there. Come on, Brock. You were running around like fucking Sonic. We just see you blue streak.
It doesn't matter. My goal is, yes, when we're running. No, I do not run around like Sonic. I'm not that fast.
Pretty fast.
Our goal, obviously, is to put on a good event and make the event flow and be successful. And part of the responsibilities that I take on is to do a lot of that, a lot of the prepping up front, so that when the event happens, hopefully, if I were to just disappear, it still executes. Now, would there be bumps in the road? Yes, of course. Because I'm not patting myself on the back, but I probably know more than anybody else about that event that's there. Just a nature from basically building it from the ground up. I mean, a carpenter knows how to build a house, right?
No,
So-
we see it for sure.
Well, the point is, a lot of times in these contracts, they have media obligations where we can say you do two. They say prearranged interviews, but you can't prearrange an in-person interview. So if you want to interview these people, I can say, hey, I've got these group of podcasters that do a lot of work for us. They help out with us. We've become buddies. They'd like to do an interview, 5 or so minutes. And if they buck it, I'll say, well, actually, it's in your contract. So,
I know one guy will check that.
Well, let them check it. Let them check it. I hope
I
they
know.
do.
I know exactly. If you bring Sam Witwer back, I know exactly. I'm gonna be like, this is Brock. Talk to us.
Oh, I'm not worried about that because the guy that his guy, his name's Daim. Like we've got each other figured out. So he's cool. We can make that happen. That won't be a problem.
I want more than an interview. If you say he's cool, I want to see the cool side of him.
You gotta, when he's working, he's kind of working, but
enough.
you just bring him a new set of pearls to go with his existing set.
There we
go. And you'll slide right in.
There we go. Well, there you go.
Hold on. Yeah. Once this is off,
I knew it was eventually going to get to that. I knew it was going to go there at some point. That's all right.
Clutch the pearls. Clutch the pearls.
I will say to give him credit. He does exactly what a handler should do.
He's
for
very
the guy
good.
that he's working for.
He's very good. I'll give him all the credit in the world. He is busy when he's on. He's on.
Yeah, I don't think in all the time that we stood there, watching or waiting or whatever, I don't think I saw a single person get past him without, making sure that he knew exactly what they were there for. Are they there for signatures? Are they there to just talk to him? Are they there to take pictures with him? He had it all handled. Like, very professional.
He was. And we do have video evidence, though, of us setting up everything and talking to Matthew Wood and having Sam Witwer kind of just...
Yeah. Whitwer definitely looked over Wood's shoulder as we're interviewing.
like, what
Wood.
is he? What's
and it was like you saw the expression on his face. He's just like, "Oh, I wish I was doing that."
Definitely like a hint of like, I guess they're gonna come my way. I'm telling you, there's only one guy that was in the way. We would have loved to have done it.
Yeah, and we'll get it. We'll get him sometime.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
I love Sam Witwer. I love Sam.
The two of them, Wood and Witwer doing their panel together is so good because they have so many stories that they tell between the two of them. I mean, like they have their own individual stories, but it's when they are cohesive and they're either working together or they're telling the same story, and you can just tell that like they have this ability to tell. They're fantastic storytellers, and the fact that they even have LucasArts in their ear when it comes to making sure that the stories are keeping with canon. They're amazing. The two of them.
I
absolutely
loved when I had a one-on-one with Matthew Wood, and I was like, I don't have Star Wars questions. He looked at me like, really? And I was like, I have There Will Be Blood questions. He like basically just shook me like, thank you. As much as he loves Star Wars, he's like, please ask me. And we talked, I think, for like 30 straight minutes just about There Will Be Blood. Paul Thomas Anderson, how that, like, the man has never, he's worked, Bear, we figured this out through the interview part. He's worked on every movie you've ever seen.
Pretty much.
I was like, you ever seen the movie Fanboys? He goes, I worked on it. And I was like, no shit, of course you.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a couple little cool insights, which will probably be, I don't know if it's old news or not, but he had to catch an early flight to leave the show early because he had to be back in, I guess, the studio at the crack of dawn on Monday morning because he's working on the Mandalorian movie.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian movie. Yes. So he's working on that. And also, I'm actually going out of town starting tomorrow, and it's a good thing because this doesn't air till a couple of weeks from now. I'll be back by then. But we're actually going to San Francisco for a few days with some friends. And I've got his number, and he's like, when you land, call me, and we can go out and get a drink or something. So there's a greater than good chance I'll be hanging out with him for a little bit over this upcoming weekend. Awesome. So
I'm expecting
he's a cool guy.
a FaceTime.
He's so nice.
Yeah, he really is. He's very down to earth, very easy to talk to. Sam's a little different.
Well, he's a little jagged, kind of has like just knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I think Sam is a little bit more professional. Wood has been around in the business for long enough that he knows, look, this is a gimmick until, or this is my life until it's a gimmick. And then when it's a gimmick, it just becomes, how am I going to make money out of what's to come next? But like, yeah, no, Wood has such a down to earth personality, and ultimately now when I watch basically anything, either Disney or Star Wars or whatever, I'm almost always looking for his name to be attached to something as far as sound engineering or whatever.
Well, and if he learned from Ben Burt, and if you've ever seen a Ben Burt interview and how kind of and sweet of a man Ben Burt is,
yeah,
anybody else wouldn't have worked out for, I don't know, what is it, 26 years now?
Yeah,
since the original Star Wars Episode 1.
It's amazing he's been attached to that for so long. But yeah, I'd love to just like with Watterson, I was sitting there talking shop. We were talking about microphones and things like that. I'd love to talk with Matthew Wood about like what
Watterson and Barrett are buddies now.
Well,
watch out.
I don't have his cell phone number, but we have
well,
chatted.
Neither do
Instagram.
I. But did he ever write back to you on Instagram or just read?
He did. Multiple times,
he's responded. He's responded almost every time I've sent him something. I've shared posts that have him in it, and he's liked them. So, Matthew Watterson is so effortless with the crowd. He is genuinely just so friendly, and
like Pedro Pascal, he is a daddy, and that's how he presents himself. Daddy, 100%.
One of the funny things, and we didn't bring it up. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, Brock, when we were there, but when we first went down there on Saturday morning and we were talking to Watterson and he recognized us immediately, Deneen came over and she was talking to all of us.
We told Brock about this, but yes, continue.
Yeah, okay, so Deneen comes over and she says,
I remember. I know where this is going.
Yeah. So at one point, Deneen said, Barrett and Zach would like to take you to dinner, and we both immediately was like, what? I don't think that's what we said. We'd love to go to dinner, but we're not taking anyone to dinner because that means that they now
We'd like to take you out for a dance and a snack. What do you?
But it was so awkward that I did have to ask him about it in the interview. I did take it out of the interview though. I took it out of the interview with him.
He was so sweet though. He's like, oh, didn't he always ask people, this person wants to take you to dinner, this person wants. I was like, no, they don't. Matthew, no, they don't. You're great at cover. No, they don't.
But it was genuinely a good time. All right, Bill, we've taken over. So now you get to ask us another question.
And let Bill ask a question. We'll go Brock, Barrett, me.
Okay, yeah, that'll work.
Brock. Okay. I can ask y'all as a whole crowd. I mean, this is great. Let's see.
Well, I'm talking about response levels.
Oh, okay, I see. All right, you mentioned food though. I want to know about the food that was there this time. Compared to the vendors in Columbia. I mean, the food that I had in Columbia was great too. Just I don't know about Wilmington.
Okay. You mentioned food and I perk up. So I think personally, I believe that the concession offerings in Wilmington are as good as any convention center I've ever been in. I mean,
I agree.
And that was one of the things that really impressed me. And when you promote a show and you run a show and you run around back of house and you learn the ins and outs, like you start to recognize some of the same faces and you get to know some of the same people. And not that they may see this, they may not, I don't know, but their food and beverage or whatever manager's name's Tracy. And Tracy is just knocked down fantastic. I can't say enough good things about Tracy. He goes above and beyond. If there's anything we need, I can text him, say, hey, I need such and such here, such and such there. No problem. I'm on it. I got it. And like he stops what he's doing and goes and addresses it personally. Now, for me, I'm a huge fan of like service and personal service. But the quality of food that they have it really is good. I mean, when you think of like, the easiest thing to compare it to is like a ballpark, right? Stadium food or bar food. And of course they have hot dogs and they have maybe chicken fingers and a couple of your traditional, offerings. But they have things that like other places don't have. They have a brisket sandwich. They have what they call a walking. Did you have one of those, Zach?
No, I saw them. Barrett said that's what he was like. There it is. There's the brisket. Like, yeah, I was like,
Yeah, no, they do. They have a veggie option, like some sort of veggie type burger for the non meat eaters, the weird folks of the world. Yep,
Missing
those,
out.
Those people. No, I'm not.
No, they're missing out.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
are.
they
You're
are.
right. You're absolutely right. But I'm more than happy to eat their share of meat. They have they have like this thing called a walking taco where they take like ground beef and some other toppings and they put it in a bag of Doritos and like crush it up and then you
Yeah.
eat it like out of the bag. That's always good. I mean,
Dang.
they have Caitlin Robrock, which Minnie Mouse was talking about. She ordered like the chicken fingers and there was like 20 chicken nuggets, little nuggets or little fingers or something in her one little serving. She's like, this is way more than I'd ever thought I would get. So I mean, I could rattle on and on about the food, but that was one of the things that really early on when they sent me the menu, it's extensive and it's actually not terribly expensive for
No,
what
it
you
wasn't.
get. It's not. Like most places are, like $14, $16 for a meal. There's like maybe you can get a decent meal for under $10. And that can include a bottle of water, like $2 for a bottle of water, which I'm like, okay, that's reasonable too.
Fair
So
enough.
yeah, it's not bad. It's really good.
It's like going to a Falcons game where all of the
Yeah.
food is very inexpensive. Like you pay enough to get in there. Why charge a whole bunch of money? Not saying the Comic-Con, but the Falcons games, and also they had Bill. They had a pulled pork barbecue nachos that were
Right.
fantastic.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Did you partake in that?
I did. Oh yes.
Oh.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like I and then Sunday morning I didn't. I think I had. I want to say I had.
You saw them
Sunday,
again?
Well, I went and got the sausage egg biscuit.
Their breakfast menu. Yeah.
The sausage egg biscuit was fantastic. I get that it was probably just microwave. Not they didn't microwave it, but they heated it up and it was pre-made. But whatever. But it was done and it was still available after 11.
I don't know if that's the case because when I was running back and forth, I actually saw them making things.
Well,
like
there you go.
cooking it and assembling it. So I'm not convinced that it was just to heat up something that was pre-made. No, I think they actually cook it.
Well, then they stepped it
Wow.
up because it tasted fresh and the texture was great. And I was just ecstatic because when we got there, it was like the show didn't start till the con didn't start till 11 on Sunday, and they only served breakfast up to 11. I walked right up to him. I was like, "Is there any chance y'all got at least one of those biscuits left?" And then the girl came out. She said, "We have 6." I said, "Well, I just need 1." And then 3 other
I'll
people
take 5.
behind me took 3. So honestly, the service was fantastic. We had so where we were set up, where Brock had us set up was literally right next to the door that you could walk out, but the concessions were just to our left. Or there was a smaller set of concessions. It wasn't all of the hot cooked food, but it was like drinks and they another selling point, alcohol.
They
served alcohol.
Y'all have beer in Wilmington.
Beer and
Yeah.
wine.
That's their choice. That's not us. We
Sure.
basically told them like, we oh yeah, don't be owing me. Oh.
There was nobody who abided too much or anything. Like
No, I
it was
didn't
just
see any
cool that you're like,
abuse.
that's here. That's freaking
Yeah,
awesome.
I'll give you my hot take on that. Like we as an organization, we're not anti-alcohol, but we're not pro. We're like whatever, take it or leave it. It doesn't matter because we market ourselves as a family-friendly event, and some families be like, you shouldn't consume alcohol, and that's okay. We just told them we're like, if you want to serve beer and wine or whatever, you're welcome to do that. We're basically not going to accept any liability if something were to happen. And they said, okay, no problem. We got it covered. And we said, all right, cool. And so we're out.
We
So,
have a lot of beers and wine back here. Yeah.
Columbia is welcome to do it too, but they want us to cover the liability insurance. And I'm like, nope.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
Really that in a lot of
big
places.
Bunch
issue.
of squares.
That's a big issue in South Carolina as a whole. So,
Well, I hear about it from Senator Walker. So yeah.
Overture Walker, give him a little plug.
And I will get him on your show. I will get him on your show.
Ott.
I
Yeah.
can probably get Russell too.
Oh yeah, we could
We had
Russell.
Russell.
We get Russell.
Oh,
back
you've
on
already had
too.
Russell? Okay.
Well,
He's awesome.
And ultimately, and I'll just say this on the side, I am trying to talk his campaign manager into going ahead and launching his congressional career because now's the time to jump.
What
I
district is he in? 2?
2. Yep. Yeah. So, oh, come on. Joe Wilson, his last hurrah is trying to get Donald Trump on a $250 bill.
If anybody could do it, it's Russell.
That's where you know he jumped the shark. So anyway, politics aside.
Well, that may be true, Fonz, but it's old habits die hard in Lexington and Aiken.
That is true. But Russell, I think, and again,
you talk to Russell a lot. He could be whatever he's talking to you about. You're just like, yeah, I like it. Russell
is the kind of guy I think that could pull that can be nonpartisan, that he can pull in both sides. And I think that if he started his campaign now, I think we'd be all right.
I'm jealous of the Whalers shirt. I want one of those. I got to get me one of those.
This is awesome. I'll tell you this. You guys probably know I support the Carolina Hurricanes, and I'm a big hockey guy. Very white of me, thank you. But it's true. But
white.
So the night, the 27th, the day before setup, Paul and I went to Whalers night in Raleigh. So we went and saw them play Buffalo that Thursday night. And since it was Whalers night, I bought myself this Whalers shirt. I bought Ethan a green shirt with the whale on it that has ERS, so it's Whalers. And these are like the throwback vintage ones. I bought a couple of koozies for the beers that I don't drink, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, it's the
coolest alternate team you can be. In my opinion. I think
by far and away. Although I don't know who the Minnesota North Stars ultimately end up becoming, but the North Stars would kind of be a cool throwback too, or maybe even the Nordiques if we want to really go back. But
if you like hockey so much, go check out Cock Hockey. They just won the Division III national championship.
That's a club team, right?
I've had the most fun watching Cock Hockey than any game.
Yeah, SGTV does all the live streams and stuff. I'd never been able to tag along for one while I was there, but
those games are so much fun.
Here's the thing: if I were to go, I'd want to be like, "Hey, get me some pads and some skates, and I want to get out there and try, and then just embarrass the shit out of myself and probably fall." But I think it would be. I mean, of course, I'm an old man who's never really ice skated and has certainly never played hockey. But I think it'd be the funnest thing in the world to like try out for like a beer league team or something and just get out there and
Cock Hockey plays at the Plex over there
in Irma,
they may
right?
have changed. Well, yeah, the Peak Exit, and they do. It's on ice you've skated before, so you're like, man, if I could go out there and check somebody.
Skated, I can skate well enough. Once I get going, I can skate.
The best moment I've ever had in Zach's personal sports history. It was South Carolina Cock Hockey playing Clemson's hockey. And a Carolina player checked them right where they come in. So they just put those rubber band cords over the entrance door. He checked them right into my beer, and it was just a fountain of beer. And everyone's like, yes! And I'm just covered in foam. And I'm like, yes! It's like a baptismal of hockey. It's just the best thing that could ever happen.
Well, staying on hockey, I'm excited to find out. It sounds like the Atlanta Thrashers might be coming back. There is rumors that there is a facility that's going to be built for it, and that Atlanta's going to have an NHL hockey team again.
Well, if they're going to expand, they'll have to bring in one more team because they would have an odd number of teams. So they'll have to expand with 2. They do one in the East, one in the Eastern Conference and Western Conference. But well, they actually, if they're going to do it, they need to do 4.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, here you go. But then I'll solve it right now. Columbia Inferno become pro hockey. And
I loved watching Columbia Inferno. I loved going to those games. A friend of mine, she was the marketing director for the Columbia Inferno. So I went, from like 2005, 2006, like that was at least twice, or I guess at least twice a month.
South Carolina has a real great way of ruining professional sports for everybody.
This is true.
NASCAR, Panthers, hockey.
Bill, we took over again.
We jumped the shark.
What is your next question?
I mean, hey, that's fine.
This podcast jumped the shark years ago.
Yeah. No, we were talking about liquor liability. I was immediately about to start getting political, so I get it.
Everyone shut the fuck up. Count to 5 in your heads, and then Bill starts to talk.
No, but so this time around, I mean, what kind of merch? Did y'all have any like custom stuff? I don't know. Are y'all the ones that like have the mugs and all that kind of stuff, all the Comic-Con things?
Can I first so when Ami and I arrived at the actual convention center, Brock was behind a desk. I texted him to try and find out where he was, but I didn't see him. And when he yelled at me something offensive, we turned around and walked. Yeah, so we turned around. He actually had a 3X shirt that he tried to give to Ami. Ami took it. I now have that 3X shirt because she was like, "There's no way I'm ever going to wear this." But it was one of the shirts that had been, I guess it didn't meet quality control.
There was one that had a hole in it.
Yeah. But so I now have that shirt, and I should have adorned it, but it's I put it on for a second. It's huge. Like, thankfully, I don't wear 3X shirts anymore. So
yeah, us 2X guys going like 3X is like a nightgown. Get it out of here.
Yeah.
Well, you can have your wife do wifely duties and stitch it up and whatever they call it, where they sew the whole
My wife's
back
pregnant
together.
with twins. She loves her 3X shirts.
There you go.
There you go. See,
I'll give it to Zach. Zach, it's yours.
Yeah, I'll take it.
But yeah, the merch they had this year, and I'll speak for Brock, was they had a bunch of different not t-shirt designs, but they had different styles of the actual shirt makeup, including some tie-dye shirts, which was really cool. There were some different color variations from what I had seen previously, and the design on the back of the shirt I thought was extremely apropos for Wilmington, North Carolina.
Would you like me to go grab one?
Yeah, if you want.
All right, I'll get one.
While he's getting
we'll
it,
point out the thing that
as soon as he brings it back, we'll say why this shirt design on the back of it was extremely apropos. Because
someone put it there for a reason. It had to be
100%. And when Brock gets back, I definitely want him to explain why it's there, because I imagine Brock is not the type to have some sort of a design.
I'm a native vacationer of Wilmington, North Carolina. My grandparents had a beach house there. That's where we always went to Wrightsville, Carolina, and Cary.
So
I love that place, but it's the most accurate backing I've ever seen.
I thought they were awesome shirts. Show us the back of the shirt. And
all right, so yeah, what Barrett was talking to is different color. They're called blanks if you want to get into the business. And so we had a mint green, we had a pink, we had what's called hazy rainbow, which is kind of yellows and purples and pinks tie dye, and then a blue. I forget what they called this one, but so we just had our little logo on the left chest.
It's awesome.
Just our basic generic coastal logo. And then let's see if I can frame this correctly. Let's see.
What's that beside the tree, Bill?
Bill, is there anything on that shirt that stands?
Yeah.
There is virtually nowhere you can go in Wilmington, North Carolina where there isn't a fucking parking meter.
Really?
You're coming from Everest Park right there. Yeah.
The shirt design is amazing. So, Brock, who came up with the design for the shirt?
Me.
You.
Yeah, okay.
But well, it wasn't 100% me, but that particular design with the palm tree and the parking meter is actually a place at Wrightsville Beach called Palm Tree Island, or it's been named Palm Tree Island by the locals. And essentially what it is it's an island, I believe, during low tide. During high tide, it doesn't exist. The intercoastal waterways or whatever kind of, the tide, as the tides go in and out, people think that they rise and fall. Nope, the earth actually rotates into the bulges of water on the side. Neil Tyson DeGrasse, or whatever his name is, taught me that.
My best friend.
Yeah, and
we'll
so
continue.
somebody thought it would be funny to take an artificial palm tree and plant it on this island. So that's what they did. They took it and they planted this fake tree on this island. Well, then another person, who knows who it may never be discovered, wanted to protest the excessive and exorbitant parking all over the Wilmington area. So they took an old parking meter and planted it on the island too. And so now it's become this trendy hangout touristy spot, and it's kind of called Palm Tree Island. And if you Google Palm Tree Island, Wilmington, or Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina, you will see all sorts of boats and people just hanging out by that. So I was like, you know what? When we do a shirt, we wanted to do something that was very uniquely Wilmington, like that. It's going to be like, if you see that and you're from Wilmington, like, oh yeah, I know exactly where that is. And then Powell wanted to add kind of the TIE fighters in the background because we had a couple of Star Wars people. So we said, you know what, we'll throw a couple TIE fighters in the background. Like we could have thrown like a kind of a moon in the top, like, that's no moon. But I thought that was just a little much.
And that's funny because I think that island was more of just a glorified sandbar that people would go out to.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. Yes.
the what was funny is Barrett and I got a firsthand look at the parking situation when we went downtown and I followed them.
Oh, it's
We're gonna
awful.
eat here. Barrett's like, this can't be more than like $11.
Yeah.
$24.
Yeah, $24 for parking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For 2 hours?
$24.
A minimum of 2 hours. Like you couldn't,
Barrett's
you
like,
couldn't
I'm
just
getting
do
the
an
fuck
hour.
out of here. There's a Hooters
Yeah.
down the street.
Were there parking garages anywhere?
Yeah.
Not there.
No, well there were some parking garages downtown, but I was
just not where we were.
But
at.
like every time I tried to pull into a parking garage after Zach bailed, he went to Hooters. But every time, yeah, I know. But
That's
every
the one in
time
Columbia shut down.
did the
no,
Yeah.
it's not.
No,
the
it
one
did.
in Irmo isn't shut down.
The one on Two Notch did.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the one in
Oh.
Irmo, my boy.
Yeah, the one in
That's-
Irmo. The
We
one
don't
in
go
Irmo's
out
still
there. We're
open.
Blythewood people. We don't go all the way out
Yeah,
there.
y'all
That's
do.
Egypt.
But I ultimately I tried to pull into a couple of parking garages, and they were either so slow, people pulling in, that it was a traffic hazard waiting to get in. But like that downtown Wilmington area is just
Oh my
hopping
God.
with like restaurants.
Imagine
and
if you
bars.
took
That's
5 points and you
insane.
took 2.5. Imagine 5 points, but you took 2.5 feet of road off of each side.
Yeah.
That's downtown Wilmington.
Yeah, it's a little nerve wracking driving
We
around.
passed a
that.
That
car
is
carrier, and
crazy.
Barrett happened to pass the same one, and we're driving like, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is when you're going to die. I don't know who decided that the roads should be as wide as the screen I'm on right now.
Yeah, and then
That's exactly what it is.
and then and I would say that downtown Wilmington isn't lit as well as it probably could be, and some crosswalks aren't really defined very well. And
There's a college co-ed with a broken leg on the street. Like, who was that? Barrett's like, say nothing.
I've spent plenty of time in New York City. I know how people cross the streets, things like that. They take that to an extreme in the hop.
They
the
play
bar
good
districts.
baseball up there at UNC Wilmington.
Yeah, that's true. That's
That is
Seahawks.
wild.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and I was angry about a $50 ticket I got. $24. That'd be what, for 4 hours of parking and make it up in Columbia? That is awful.
Yeah. I looked at Barrett. I was like,
God.
But when I saw that parking meter on the back of the shirt, I was like, oh, I get the joke. But it's not a
Barrett
joke.
pointed it out
It's-
to me. I was like, apropos. Very
Yeah.
apropos.
I thought it was part of the joke as far as the cost of parking downtown, but then to know that there's actually a reason for it, and there's a touristy reason.
Yeah.
is-
Every time we went to the beach, you had to pay that parking meter, and someone
Yeah,
would have to run
That's
across
that's
the hot
fine.
sand. Like, go put goddamn quarters in this.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do they have tickets for late fees and stuff on there? Like how much is it? I mean,
They'll give you a ticket when it's not expired yet. They just know your ass ain't running from the beach back here. They're like,
Probably.
That's insane.
Wow.
I mean, I get it. You got to make income revenue somehow, but
like that?
not
My God.
not uncommon to see somebody fighting a meter maid. Ticket me, you bitch.
Oh my
all
God.
right, Bill.
Yeah.
We got
No,
time
I mean,
for one more.
One more? Okay.
He's being an ass.
I got a pregnant woman
Yeah.
who's going to start throwing shit at me.
There you go. That's true. That's true.
No. Yeah. I mean, did y'all get any merch signed by anybody this time around? I know last time you got a couple things, especially
Yes.
Zach. I can't remember what you got,
got
Zach.
Zach got
I
himself
got-
taken care of.
So last time I got Sam Witwer to sign my steel panel of him from Days Gone as Deacon St. John. This time I got a video. So Ross Marquand was so kind enough to be like, my Michelin team on my BOS team are big Walking Dead fans, super Aaron fans from The Walking Dead. So he was kind enough to shoot a video and talk about how he's my best friend and that how cool I am, and make sure that they know how cool I am. And shout out to the BOS team. So that was awesome. Then he took some pictures with me, and then I paid for Minnie Mouse to do a video for my daughter. And she not only did that, she threw in a signed Minnie Mouse picture. And like I said before, my daughter's face is still grinning from it. Every time you play it, she's like, I love you, Ethan. Big kisses. Like all this stuff. And I was like, wow. Like my daughter blew her mind just to see that happen. Needless to say, she'll be sitting with us at the next con in August. So yeah, I love
Oh, there you go.
I didn't get anything signed. I did purchase some stuff from some vendors this time where I had not before because
what did we buy, Barrett? You got them, and then it suckered me into it, and it was awesome.
I went to the mini or the Lego figurines place. I can't remember what they were called, but they
Amazing
had
Heroes.
Amazing Heroes. There you go.
They had the largest variety of, and they're off-brand Legos, but like they're
Legos though, like they're exactly Legos.
Yeah, they're perfect. So I got 9 of them because it was like $30 for 9, and you get to pick out which ones you wanted. So I got like a Thanos, a Wolverine, a Deadpool. I got
the last Thanos.
I did get the last Thanos. In fact, Zach asked. He said you better get that one, or you said something about you better get that one. It's the last. I bet it's the last one. And the guy was like, it is the last one.
Yeah.
And then Zach was mad at me that I got the last one.
There were no other Thanos.
Spider-Man. I got both Captain Americas. You know, they had an unbelievably wide variety. And then like when I went back and we were trying to, because Ami had gotten a Green Bay Packers one that the G was backward, or the G was upside down, so it was pointing in the wrong direction.
It was like mirror reverse.
Yeah, it was mirrored. And so we took it back to see. No, all of the Green Bay Packers G's were mirrored, so they were all facing the wrong direction. And then she had a what did she have? A Chicago Bears that didn't have
with
blue pants. Yeah, it was purple pants. So she wanted me to see if I could exchange them for the correct color pants. And I walked over there and I was looking, I was like, they're all wrong. Like I said, clearly these guys are on the right side of like sports fandom, because he's not a fan of the Green Bay Packers. He's not a fan of the Chicago Bears. The Falcons one looks right. So, you know, I made some assumptions there about what
I saw Barrett giggling while picking out his basket. And like when he was halfway through, I was like, son of a bitch, here's $20. I want 6.
Yeah.
And so like I went through and picked out, like I got an Indiana Jones, Batman, Wolverine, Gandalf, one more. I can't remember.
Did you get white Gandalf or gray? Gray. You got gray too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got all those, and like the Boba Fett. I got Boba Fett. That was like the last one.
Yeah.
Then we went and got coasters. We got cups. I got a shirt.
I used my Doctor Who coaster, you know.
Yeah, we got them all. Those coasters are amazing. Yeah. I have it at work. I have my Legos and my coasters at work.
Dang, Brock, I'm guessing you just accumulate stuff.
No, actually, I don't. I'm very much I try to be somewhat of a minimalist, and I try not to accumulate, because
that's fair.
I look at my office right now and everybody like, oh, you got a lot of stuff in your office. I'm like, yeah, but most of it needs to go. So
yeah. I'm the same way.
It's gonna be very difficult for me to move to Norway with all of the stuff I have. So at some point, everyone on this episode is gonna wind up getting a bag of things that I can't take to Finland or Norway with.
When Barrett's gone and no one's heard from him for 2 months, we're allowed to go through his shit.
That's right. 2 months. Wait a week. After a week, just jump in.
Just a week. I hadn't heard from Barrett for a week. He's like, I was held captive by Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like, I don't.
Bill, you got any more questions for us? Because we've kind of taken over any answers that Brock could have given, I guess.
No, man. I mean, I know you were talking about that the N character, but was there any other like cosplay that stood out among the crowd?
A Wampa and a Chewbacca and a Big Hero 6, a Baymax. Those are the 3. There was like a 7-foot Wampa.
I saw video footage of Baymax and the Wampa. They were about to go at each other, like in slow motion, but they were going to go at each other, which was a really cool thing to see. The 501st was there. I guess it was the North Carolina Regiment of the 501st, or the 501. No, what are we not supposed to call them?
I think they're garrisons.
The garrison. Oh, okay. Well, I just know Albin gets on to me every time I say it. I either say 501st or the 501 or something like that. Whatever it is.
I think it's 501st.
Yeah, it's
501st.
You say the 501s?
Yeah, the 501s.
The 501s? You guys are the 501s?
The 501s.
either Donald,
Like name drop. Okay, dude.
either Donald, Donna, or Albin will get on to me about that because I know Donald and Donna listen to the show, so they'll probably torment me.
You boys, what are those storm marchers I've heard so much about?
Storm marchers.
Fighting the space samurai.
I will just say the 501st Garrison showing up at these Comic Cons is such a thrill. Like the number of people that get excited about getting to take pictures with all of the characters in their costumes is just outstanding. Like I stood there and watched as little kids were walking up and like, here's Chewbacca. They get to take a picture with the drones or the droids. They got to take pictures with. They had a guy with an actual remote controlled R2-D2 on Sunday. That so many I probably saw 10 or 15 people in the 5 or 10 minutes I was standing there watching them take pictures with R2-D2 and interact with R2-D2. Like it was such a cool thing. So I know we're getting towards the end of this episode. Brock, you have some news that you want to drop. Or okay, you have news that we want you to drop. What is it that's going on?
Well, you did mention the 501st or the 501s. I've got a bunch of cool plans coming up for Soda City Comic Con with the 501s. So that's going to be fun. I'm actually looking at it right now, but I'm not going to read any of them off because that would spoil all the fun. Okay. But we're definitely going to have a lot of fun with them at the August event. But we can safely say that would you guys agree that Columbia is pretty good Star Wars town?
I think so.
For sure.
Yeah, I think so too. So we're super excited to announce that the first guest that we have officially signed for the 2025 Soda City Comic Con.
Hold on, don't say it yet. Let me get some here we go.
Damn it, Barrett.
Here we go.
What is that? Is that ambient noise?
It's a timpani roll.
Oh, I thought that was like a noisemaker that I fall asleep to every night.
Is that a fart?
That was about as anticlimactic as it gets. You need to edit that crap out.
Well, okay, I'll do. Look, I'll do one better.
Oh my God, no one gives a shit, Barrett. Brock, say what you're gonna say.
I'm trying. He's like,
it's better.
All right, there we go. That's good. Now you can edit it back in. We are super excited to announce that none other than Bo-Katan Kryze, Katie Sackhoff, is going to be a guest at the 2025 Soda City Comic Con.
Katie Sackhoff.
That is huge.
That is
huge. She not only was she Star Wars, but one of my favorite series on AMC or on Netflix is Longmire. That is.
She was on a small startup, Battlestar Galactica. You'll probably never heard of that.
Battlestar Galactica. She in what was the series Big Bang Theory? She was in
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, she was Katie Sackhoff as herself, but she was in a bathtub naked. So, there's a lot to.
You know what? When you meet her, Barrett, you tell her that.
First thing I'm going to bring up. When you were in the bathtub with Howard Wolowitz, completely nude, how does that? No, I'm not going to ask that. But
does that mean Sam's coming back? Because Sam is her friend too, so you could have.
No, we've had enough Sam for right now.
But Katie Sackhoff, that's a huge get.
Katie Sackhoff, yeah.
She's, Mandalorian. Just that's unbelievable. Congratulations!
We're pretty excited about it, and we hope that a lot of people are going to be excited about it, and they're going to come out and want to meet her. And we're kind of hoping that the Mandalorian film trailer will drop because I'm 99% sure she's going to be in that film.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, there's no way that she's not. And I'm kind of surprised that at this point they haven't at least hinted or dropped some sort of teasers that there will be a Bo-Katan spinoff, because I don't know how there isn't.
Yeah,
there
at some point there will be. I think so. So, she's always been the voice of Bo-Katan in all the animated series and films and whatnot. So, we're super excited. She'll do autographs, photographs. She'll do a panel, pro photos. There's something else that we're trying to work out, which would be very appealing for you guys. I can't really share all the details yet, but We're going to put together a VIP package too. So yeah, we're very excited about this. Should be a fun weekend with her as our first guest announcement. Not only, but just the first.
Well, I think it's fair to say that we're going to have you back very soon for some more top-notch information. Listen, Brock, you start going to other podcasts.
So much enthusiasm.
We might be waiting at your house.
Now I got to go feed my kids. So wrap this up.
All right, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much, Zach King, for being here, of course. Bill, thank you for being here. Donald Brock Jr., of course, coordinator for all of these Comic Cons, whether it's Wilmington, Columbia, or Myrtle Beach. We're very excited for what's about to be going down here, as well as the build-up to the Soda City Comic Con. So that's going to do it for episode number 247. Again, thank you guys for being here. Links to all of our past episodes, podcast platforms, merchandise, and social media are available on our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you think our financial model of giving away free content and entertainment is silly and you're in the giving mood, why not become an official Nothinger and support the show? Members get early access to this episode as well as exclusive content. Visit members.theallaboutnothing.com, or you can find a link on our webpage. You can also give us a one-time donation through the same link. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can call and leave us a message, 803-672-0533, or you can email the show at theallaboutnothing.com. Join our Discord server as well. Links found on our webpage. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. You all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself. The All About Nothing podcast is a product of Big Media and produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. I am Barrett Gruber. You can follow me across social media by visiting Linktree/Barrett Gruber. You can follow Zach King on social media at GarnetKing07. Want to support the show? Visit our webpage at theallaboutnothing.com and become a member. There are several tiers available that give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content. To find links to our social media, podcast platforms, and merchandise to support the show as well as past episodes, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like, you can be a part of the show. Email the show at theallaboutnothing.com, or you can call our number and leave a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our sister shows, including What the Pod Was That with Carrie, Zach, and myself, Welcome to Wonderland with Me, and Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jameel Brooks and Bill Kimmler. Please subscribe and share this show. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscription button and punch that notification bell. Thank you for listening, and hear us next week. The preceding podcast is a product of Big Media, LLC, and is copyright 2025, all rights reserved.